Confirmation today that Chinese tensions with Australia, they're not leaving us, they're not going away. They've warned their citizens that they could be arbitrarily searched in Australia and have their property seized in Australia, escalating its travel advice to its citizens. Of course, they can't come over here, so it's a redundant kind of warning. But Liz Storer, when do we seize people's property? The only thing I can see happening in Australia is that we keep selling our property to the Chinese.
Yeah. Why? Maybe that's why they're worried that we'll steal it back. But seriously, Chris, there's so much of this coming out at China at the moment, all this sabre rattling. Basically, right now, they're just ultimately peeved about the fact that we've extended our hand of friendship to the Hong Kongese. They're very annoyed about that. We saw this weeks earlier when they were telling their students not to come here because we're all such racist bigots. They'll just be discriminated against, etc. and so on. If you read the Global Times, which I do, the CCP propaganda arm operating round the clock, this kind of stuff from China, it is utterly hilarious the way they paint other countries. The US, Australia, constantly telling the Chinese that Australia's just America's lapdog anyway. They'll just do everything that the US does. They insult us day in, day out, and they always do this, turn things back around on us, the kind of things that they do and are doing, they'll accuse us of.
No, it's a terrible regime.
Projection at its finest.
Terrible regime.
Indeed.
I've worked in Beijing for 2 years. I know what they're capable of. Nicholas Reece, the return, though, came from Pompeo. I like this bloke. You know, they won't shy away from calling out China at the moment and about China's expansionist agenda. His administration stepped up its confrontation with China over the South China Sea by formally declaring that most of its disputed territorial claims in the region are illegal. Do you like that kind of language from the United States, or should they shut up?
Look, it is quite a significant geopolitical escalation by the US there. I mean, China is wrong in its territorial claims around the 9-dash line. That's the claim that expands their maritime area well into the South China Sea, south of China, taking in waters which take in Vietnam, the Philippines, Malaysia, and other Southeast Asian nations. And look, it's not just me saying that. Actually, there was a international court ruling on this in 2016 saying China does not have control of these waters. These are international waters or the waters of the countries I've just been through. So I actually think China does need to observe the law. And look, I think the US is doing the right thing by stepping up on this. So
the chances of a confrontation down the track, John Ruddick, what are they? Because possession is 9/10 of the law. They are there, well armed and well situated.
Well, the interesting thing is all the other Southeast Asian nations are anti-China. And they now have a President of the United States and a Secretary of State who is firmly on their side. Now, the Trump administration used to get all this attack over being isolationist. Well, yes, they certainly want to isolate themselves from, useless wars in the Middle East. Obama used to bomb Yemen and Syria and Libya, and that all made them a hell of a lot worse. So, yes, Trump doesn't want to end those wars, but the other recent US presidents were sort of letting the rise of China become more and more of a bully, more and more dominant, and Trump is standing with those little Asian countries. Vietnam, America's great enemy from a generation ago, very pro the US. Of course, Taiwan, Japan, Malaysia, Indonesia, the Philippines, they all love Uncle Sam now. So I think, and now Trump's giving them leadership. So good on him, Donald Trump. He's not isolationist. He's flexing US muscle on the most important thing on the world chessboard.